Hey there, YouTube. Mountain Boy here. Well, Christmas was good to me. The knife gods left this for me. This is the Joker Nomad 6.5. This is a knife I've seen out for a while. Maybe I'm a little late coming to it, but I saw a price that just could not be beat. I picked it up. I've had my ESEE 6 for a couple of years now, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to do just a comparison video so you could kind of, for anyone who's kind of thinking about one or the other, which way to go. So I'll do a quick overview on both of them and just point them out. So the ESEE 6, both of these are kind of like meant to be about a 6-inch blade. Yes, this says 6.5, and it's 6.45, but the ESEE is this part of the blade is 6 inches, but the overall blade is 6.5 inches. So they're really very, very similar. MSRP on the ESEE 6, and you have some kind of variation in terms of handle choices. On their website, it starts at $175 for the flat micarta. For these 3D scales, it's $218. Street price on this, I even found this with the 3D scales around $150. It just depends on what colors you like. The Joker, Amazon's about $180, Blade HQ, those kind of sites, about $145. So realistically, you could have either of these knives for about $150. So, very comparable out there. Overall length on the ESEE is 11.75 inches versus 11.5 on the Joker, so very similar. The difference in the sizes is in the handle and the blade. The handle on the ESEE is 5.25 inches versus 4.75 inches. That doesn't seem like a lot, but you can see here I've got medium-sized hands. It gives you room to kind of have different hand positions on there versus with the Joker, where I'm pretty much I have like one hand position. So that ½ an inch on the handle really does kind of mean something. With the blade length on the Joker, it's a full 6.5. Blade length here, or where the edge length is 5.75, but you got this finger choil, and the overall length is 6.45. This finger choil is, I have to admit, I wish if the Joker had the finger choil, this would almost be a perfect knife, but it doesn't. Anyway, the thickness on these, you can see here, the Joker is noticeably thicker at 0.2 inches versus 1.8 inches on the ESEE. Both of them have jimping on the top. The ESEE, it's good, but it's not, I wouldn't call it sharp jimping. This jimping on the Joker is super positive. Your thumb's not slipping there. Other differences is the ESEE comes with a powder coat on it because it's a 1095 carbon steel blade. It is susceptible to rust. We'll talk more about that. And so they have a polymer coating on here. And you can see this is something I've had for probably 2 years. Using it for a lot of chores, and that's actually holding up quite well versus a N65 Bowler stainless steel, and that's kind of a European, Austrian steel. Think of it like a souped up version of 440C. Very hard, holds an edge really, really well. As far as blade widths, very similar. The ESEE is just slight at 1.56 inches, a little bit more than 1.4 inches. Both are drop point, flat ground knives. Weight's about the same. Joker's is an extra set 0.7 of an ounce. So this is 12 ounces and this is 12.7 ounces. USA made. The Joker's made in Spain. Let's talk about the sheaths on these. So ESEE, I love your sheath. It's a polymer plastic with a simple clip. The way I use this is I stick it in my leg pocket or a back pocket, and then when I'm actually using it, I'll clip it to my belt. And it's easy to use, it stays in place, and I can draw it and withdraw it pretty easily. A lot of added value for the ESEE. Joker just has this very well made, beautiful, but it's a leather sheath. You plunk it in. It's not something I would wear on my belt. I would probably keep it in a pack, pull it out when I need it. But it's not something that, it's like a tool where you can, access it easily and very quickly. So yeah, kudos for a nice thing, but I'd rather have something like that. I looked on Etsy, about $75 on Etsy gets you like a Kydex sheath. So I've been using this for about a month, mostly splitting wood, making fires, doing some chopping, hacking, things like that. Kind of come up with some basic pros and cons. So the pros on the ESEE over the Joker, number one, this finger choil, that lets you choke up on the knife. You can do a lot more detailed work with it. And then the longer handle gives you kind of multiple hand positions, especially if like you're chopping, you can choke down on it. And also this 3D ridging is very positive, especially if it's wet. I think it can create a little bit of hot spots, but I've mostly used this with a pair of gloves. So a pair of gloves with this is just a great combination, great handle. Also the blade is 1095 carbon steel. It is prone to rust. You can see little spots there I need to clean up. But it gets wicked sharp. It's easy to sharpen with just like a little hand sharpener, but you do got to keep a layer of oil on there. And I have to admit, I left this up here at the cabin, and even though I had oil on it just being up here for the last 2 weeks, it's just developed a little rust on there in the sheath. So that's one thing with this stainless. It's the same stainless in the Joker Lynx, and it's just a maintenance-free knife. It also holds an edge exceptionally well. I don't know, you can see I've been using this for about a month, and there's not a nick or a burr on there. A downside on the Joker is it has a convex edge versus a flat edge on the ESEE. And that convex edge, I haven't sharpened it yet, but it is a skill that I need to learn and I need to do well. And it's a bit of a challenge. So that's one thing to think about, is when you're buying this knife, you're going to have to learn some different sharpening techniques. I'd say the pros on the Joker, other than the blade steel, is the feel of it in hand. I mean, the way they make these is they put them together and they use grinders to smooth everything down. This is a handcrafted knife in every sense of the word. The ESEE is more of an assembled knife. One company makes the steel, someone else makes the grips, and then ESEE kind of puts them together. They probably do the paint, or maybe they send it up, I don't know. But this is something that's assembled, and this is really something that's crafted. And and that's just something, when you're using it, it just feels great in hand, very, very nice. There's no hot spots, just feels good overall. So fit and finish, more ergonomic. I would say as far as performance, yes, I don't have that choil, so it's not the most articulate knife, but it's a great chopper. And you can really feel the balance and the weight, that extra weight of the blade. And so like lopping off little limbs or using it to split kindling, like almost like a hatchet, it just works really, really well. The downside of it, I mentioned before, is the sheath. I just would prefer a Kydex or a polymer sheath, kind of like the ESEE. So hopefully that's kind of a good overview for both knives. I do also have the Lion Steel M7. I think it's kind of interesting that this is a fantastic knife. It has a lot of the attributes of both of these knives that I really like. It has the 3D grips, it has the finger choil. The length is very similar, but this is also a much more expensive knife. These are listing at $275, street price $225, so almost $100 more. But I just thought it'd be interesting to bring that out for you to take a quick look at that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, go ahead and signify it, and please subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye. Christmas was good to me, so I got a new knife. I got a Joker Nomad 6.5.